wide receiving core, which was arguably the worst in the league, certainly worst 2 or 3 in the league, is now going to be in the top half of the league based on 2 rookies who were drafted late in the first and in the second round.
Severe questions at quarterback.
And severe questions at quarterback is silly. And it gives people unrealistic hope. Is it possible the Browns could have a top half of the league wide receiving core? Anything's possible. Is it realistic? Come on. This year, that's insane. Even Captain, I was going to say Captain Knee Jerk.
Yeah, the Duke.
The Duke of Knee Jerk, I assume, is going to say the same thing.
Listen, man.
My job's to ask you questions. Your job is to answer.
There you go. We did.
I did my job. You did your job.
There
G,
you go.
what say you?
Listen, for me, I ain't gonna get greedy.
Yeah.
You know what I'm saying? Don't get beside yourself. There's a reason I don't even throw out numbers no more. I once upon a time say 4,500. Now listen, let me tell you something. Top half, I don't know nothing about that. The only thing I care about is are they better than they were. Like,
can they get out of the bottom 5? Yes, I think they can get out of the bottom 5.
They got some names that I'm excited about because it's better than the names we had, and it's true that when you get new people, you have this exponential thought, like anything could be possible.
Yes,
and that's cool for fans because at least you don't got to look at Cedric Tillman and know what Cedric Tillman is and know what Jamari Thrash is, and then feel bad on Sundays because every single time you go into the game, you look at the other side of the football field. You're like, these guys are dwarfing what we got. I mean, are we getting 14 points a game? At least you have some guys that you have some upside in, and you raise the floor. Because now, if you look at it, we talked about it in the first hour in the KYC app. If Cedric Tillman at worst is your 5th receiver, then you're like, oh, okay. But if Cedric Tillman is your 2nd receiver, you're in trouble, man. Yeah. So at least we got some guys with some versatility. Look at that, 270 yards, and he's injured all the time.
Yeah.
So no, I'm not going. There's a lot of good receiving cores around here. We can start with Cincinnati off the top of your head. Detroit Lions got a bunch of great receivers. I mean, the Packers, Seattle, the Packers.
In the AFC alone,
Rams.
On paper, how many teams are the Browns better than on paper?
At receiver?
Yeah, not many.
Well, let's go through it.
Let's do this.
Well, Tennessee just added Cardell Tate, so it depends on how high you are on Cardell Tate.
Well, you're going to be higher on Cardell Tate than any of those guys.
I would agree.
Because otherwise you're being disingenuous because most people wanted the Browns to draft Cardell Tate.
Right. Yeah. So go ahead. Continue.
So, and we'll just go AFC East down.
Yeah.
New England.
They have nobody.
Yeah,
so would you rather have the Browns receiving core or New England's?
I guess I'd go with the Browns.
I mean, New England went to the Super Bowl.
They did go to the Super Bowl.
I hear you.
I understand it's not based on
the wide receiving core was not the Super Bowl.
But they did lose Diggs. They lost Diggs.
They lost Diggs,
They signed Romeo Doubs, lost Diggs.
Come on.
You don't even know who's in the Patriots. Give me the Browns.
Mark it down for the Browns.
Sean Booty.
Boom.
I'll say I'd rather have the Browns. I think there's more upside.
This is according to Our Lads, which is the best.
Okay, here we go. Let's roll.
Dobbs, Keyshawn Booty, Matt Collins, and DeMario Douglas.
Nah. Let's go with the Browns.
I go with the Browns.
Cooking. One down.
Trust me, there's not going to be many more.
Let's
I'm not
go.
being biased here.
All I need as a Duke of Knee Jerk is 3 more teams.
In the AFC?
All I need is 3 more teams.
The AFC.
I mean, there is an NFC division.
Okay.
We're going to stay in the AFC. The Bills, DJ Moore, Khalil Shakir, Josh Palmer, and Keon Coleman are their top 4.
I would take the Bills.
Just based on
you got more proven players.
Just
they don't have any great players.
Hold on.
Yeah.
Hold on.
Lord.
So you said DJ Moore, right?
DJ Moore is their number 1.
Okay.
Do the Browns have a player better than DJ Moore?
If I go back and squint hard at Jerry Jeudy's the year before the last year, I can look and say, if I get that from Jerry Jeudy, I can actually.
Who's been more consistent in their career?
DJ Moore.
Yeah.
DJ Moore, let's not lie.
All right, go ahead, next.
Miami, Malik Washington, Jalen Tolbert, and Caleb Douglas.
There we go. That's two. That's two off back. We cooking.
So Jason's got 1. We've got 2.
Hey, let's go.
Then we got the Jets with Garrett Wilson.
They got Garrett Wilson.
A.D. Mitchell and Omar Cooper Jr.
Yeah, they drafted the wide receiver in the first round, too. Jets got
Pittsburgh with DK Metcalf.
And Michael Pittman.
And Jeremy Bernard.
Yes.
Steelers. Yeah.
They got Bernard too?
If they hadn't gotten Pittman, maybe I could make a case, but Metcalf's still better than anybody the Browns got.
All right, there you go. I give you that.
We're not going to have to go over the Bengals. We know the Bengals are better. What about the Ravens? Zay Flowers, Bateman, and Devontae Walker, and then 2 rookies.
Ravens.
Jacoby Lane, 3rd-round pick, and
I
Elijah
don't love
Surratt,
their
4th-round
wide
pick.
receivers, but Zay Flowers is significantly better right now than anybody the Browns.
They got one. I mean, they got one. I can squint my eyes and look at these Ravens. I could be like, okay, you got Zay Flowers. That's it.
You want Zay Flowers or Jerry Jeudy?
I'll take Zay Flowers,
Yeah.
but I would take all the other players that we got over there.
Right, but it's all unproven. So
Yes, it's-
I don't like the rest of the Ravens receivers. I don't think they're very good.
That's a possible.
But Zay Flowers, could the Browns end up better at wide receiver than the Ravens by the end of the year? Possible. Right now, I take the Ravens.
The Jaguars, we don't have to go over.
No.
Brian Thomas Jr.,
No.
Parker Washington.
Yeah. We just went over it. So
Jacoby
we don't have to go
Myers.
over it. We went over it.
The Texans with
No.
Nico
No.
Collins. Okay, nope.
No.
And they got
Easy.
Tank Dell coming back.
Yeah,
this
yeah,
year.
no.
They do the Colts. They re-signed Alec Pierce. They lost Pittman. They have Pierce, Josh Downs, and Nick Westbrook-Akine as their top 3.
That's not very good.
I'm going with the Browns. I don't know how they gave Pierce a
That was
$2
a
million,
crazy
200
contract.
That crazy for barely 1,000. I got him down. That's
I
3 or
think I
4
would
for the
take
Browns. I'm gonna
I think
go
I
with
would
the
take
Browns. I'm gonna go with the
Again,
Browns.
it's the bad. That's I think a third one for me, right?
Jason's eyes is getting smaller.
So we got 4 for G.
I give you 1.5.
3
I think
for
they're
me.
I think they're even with the Colts. I'll
And
give you
Jason's been
Miami,
even, so it's 4,
and
3,
they're
1.5.
even with the Colts.
The Titans receiver room is better than I thought. I forgot they signed Wan'Dale Robinson.
Oh yeah.
Yeah,
and
like-
Calvin Ridley. So they're
Oh
I'm
yeah.
taking
Oh
the
yeah.
Titans.
Yeah.
a step ahead.
Yeah.
Going over to the AFC West, the Broncos, they traded for Jalen Waddle,
Oh, yeah.
Cortland Sutton.
Yeah,
they're better.
Yeah. Come on. We might got the Raiders.
The Chargers,
Yes.
We got
Ladd
the Raiders.
McConkey, Quentin Johnson, Trey Harris, and rookie Brennan Thompson
Definitely
as your
the
top 4.
I like Ladd
Are you
McConkey.
serious?
I'm just looking. I'm trying to get an answer so we have for
okay.
Yeah,
audio.
Chargers the Chargers are better. The Raiders are the Chiefs are better. They got Rashee Rice. The Raiders are they're
got
better
the-
than the Raiders.
we got
the
the
Raiders. Don't
Raiders.
have that. Who's the Raiders receivers?
We
I
got
don't
the
even know.
Raiders. Hands down.
The Raiders depth chart at receiver: Trey Tucker, Jalen Naylor, and Jack Beck.
Nah, bro.
I'll give you the Raiders.
That's the Raiders.
No.
Now again,
No.
I can't like the Browns wide receiving core. Those teams could say, "Well, we're better than them," but I'd rather have the Browns because at least you got 2 high pickups.
That's crazy.
So you went with 5 better. I went with 4. Jason went with 2.5.
2.5.
I'm giving Jason 3.
Then I'll take 2.
Give him a card.
2.5. All right, let's
Fish.
continue with the
Make
NFC.
me
This is
choke on
fun.
the card.
Go ahead.
You want
What
to do
we
the
got?
NFC now?
NFC, do the NFC.
All right. The Eagles,
No.
even
No.
without AJ Brown, still
doesn't matter.
yeah,
Yeah,
you still want
They
them.
got Makai Lemon too. Dang.
Giants got Malik Neighbors.
The Cowboys, Pickens and CD,
Nah,
and the
come on.
Commanders.
No,
Come on.
no.
I mean the Commanders.
What they got?
Stop it. They got Terry
McLaurin,
McLaurin.
McCaffrey, and Antonio Williams.
They've got Terry McLaurin. He's a top 20 wide receiver.
He was bad last year.
Oh my God, Mike.
I'm just not a big McLaurin guy. Maybe on me.
What are you?
So you'd rather have Jerry Jeudy?
You rather have Jerry Jeudy than Terry McLaurin?
I'm not even saying I'd pick the Browns. I'm just saying I don't think it's an immediate wash off.
It
They
is.
Yes, it is.
If
Terry
you ask
McLaurin.
any team in the NFL, which would you rather have? You always take the team that has got the best receiver.
The other guys are nobodies though.
But the Browns guys are nobody.
Browns-
But do you think the
all
difference between
nobody.
Jerry
the
Jeudy
Browns'
and
number 1 guy
what-
is a
what-
nobody.
But Jeudy to McLaurin is not that big of a gap.
Oh, yes,
Yes,
it
it
is.
is.
Come
Hey,
on,
what-
Mike.
I don't
You're out of
think
your
so.
mind.
I don't
What
think
did
so.
Terry do last year?
Say it again.
What did Terry McLaurin do last year? What was his numbers? Can you?
Terry McLaurin last year had 60 catches for 582 yards and 3 touchdowns.
What about the year
Did he
prior to
miss
that?
time?
What about the year prior to that?
He missed time. Wasn't he hurt?
Yeah, he played 12 games.
This is
quarter
important.
of the
The year-
The year before, he had the best season of his career, 1,096 yards and 13 touchdowns.
I mean, Jerry Jeudy the year before that had 1,200, 1,300.
Yeah, and he had 2 touchdowns.
I'm just saying. I mean,
I would rather have McLaurin than Jeudy. I just don't think it's that big.
it
of a
ain't
gap.
that. Yeah.
Oh, come on.
Hey,
Come on, come on. Come on.
I
No,
can-
there's not a team in the NFL.
I don't think.
with
I
consider-
I'll
agree,
give
but
it
I'm
to the
saying it's not
Commanders.
that big of a gap.
All
I'll
right,
give it to
I
the
think you're out of
Commanders.
your mind, but go ahead.
I'll give it to the
All
Commanders.
right, the Bears with Adunze.
Yeah, Bears.
I'm gonna take the Bears.
Yeah, they have
Luther
Adunze,
Burden
Luther
and,
Burden.
I'm gonna take the Bears. I'm gonna take the Bears.
The Packers,
Nope.
Matthew Golden, Christian Watkins. They lost
I don't.
Dobbs.
Christian Watson.
Watson, excuse me.
I don't love the Packers wide receiving core.
I forgot about that. Why? Christian Watson, he ain't really did nothing. They lost Dobbs, which I think was a sneaky their best receiver. Golden didn't do much last year because I had
He
him
was
on
terrible
fantasy
as a
team.
rookie.
Quiet as kept.
Who's their third guy?
Give me the third guy.
Jaden Reed, Christian Watson, Matthew Golden, and Savion Williams. Their top 4.
Yeah. I
But
mean,
still better than. I mean, guys.
what did Christian Watson do last year?
Christian Watson last year, he played in 10 games, 35 catches, 611 yards, 6 touchdowns.
Yeah.
The Browns had the worst receivers, and they've added 2 unproven rookies.
Yeah.
Let's be.
I'm gonna give it to
The
the
Packers is pretty bad. I don't like the Packers.
but I don't really like them. But I'll give Packers the benefit of the doubt.
They
'cause
did draft gold in the first round.
They went to the playoffs. Didn't they go to the playoffs?
I'm going to go
Yeah.
Packers,
Okay.
but I think
I'll go
I actually
Packers.
think that's close.
It's
but I'll
like-
go Packers.
Vikings and Lions don't have to look at.
Yeah.
Absolutely not.
The Panthers,
Nah, they
Ted
got-
McMillan,
they got
Jalen
Ted
Coker,
McMillan's-
Xavier
Ted McMillan's a
Lizette.
stud.
T-Mac is.
McMillan's
Yeah,
in his own
McMillan's
right.
I'm gonna give him T-Mac.
The Bucks without Mike Evans have Chris Godwin, Ibuka, and McMillan. They're still ahead.
Bucks, yeah.
Bucks.
The Falcons with Drake London.
Yes.
Yeah, Falcons.
The rest of their receivers are not great, but Drake London's way better than Jeudy. So
Yeah, I'm gonna
The
give you
Saints with Jordan Tyson, Chris Olave.
you'd rather
I'm
have that.
saying-
Rather have them.
Saints.
Seahawks have JSN.
Yeah,
Done.
That's all.
That's
This
it.
Rams have Puka.
Yeah,
Done.
yeah.
Niners receiving core is not great.
Let me see.
Pearsall. Oh, they did sign Mike Evans. I forgot.
Yeah.
Evans,
Okay,
Pearsall.
okay, yeah.
They
He's
just
old,
drafted
but he's
Stripper.
still-
Yeah, okay.
Good.
Okay.
And then the Cardinals with Marvin Harrison Jr., Michael Wilson,
All right, so
Kendrick
are they-
Bourne.
Did we have them better than anybody in the NFC?
No.
The Packers are the only team you can make a case. So there you
The
go.
Cardinals. Let me see.
Jason had 2.5 teams. I had 4, and
I had
you had
5.
5 or 6.
5.
So top
Best
half
case
pushing it.
scenario, they get up to like 24th.
26th. 25th.
Yeah, look,
There's no way they get into the top 15.
I
Not
just
with
asked the
rookies.
question.
But
I
I-
just asked the questions we answered. It was a good exercise.
Yeah.
You just can't count on rookies. But
Yeah,
right,
right.
I do see a runway now, finally.
yeah.
There's
where-
potential at the position.
like-
yeah.
You can't.
Again,
They invested high draft capital.
I'm tired of saying it. 2027. That's what they care about.
But it
2027.
was 2029 in the Dome.
No, you got to. 27 is when you start selling the tickets. It's when you start selling PSLs.
I
they
think-
care about 2027.
I actually think that they did a really good job of, because here's what they could have did. They could have punted all the way. I think that they did a really good job of making 2026 very relevant. And, you know, I feel like in this draft, they did everything possible to give the quarterback a fighting chance.
Right.
They gave you got 2 new pass catchers. They
Yeah.
retooled the offensive line. So in 26, they gave you every opportunity to say, okay, we're gonna give you a real opportunity to show what you can actually
Yeah.
do. And I like the fact that they only got 1 receiver, they got 2 receivers. So it might not be the greatest. Like, I can't just come up here and say a rookie. That's why it'd be crazy when people be like, "Oh, Mendoza is gonna be a top 15." Bro, I don't know. Pump your brakes. We ain't seen him
Somebody
yet.
say he's going to be a top 15 quarterback?
Man,
I don't see that. Now, they got a great running back and a great tight end.
Yes.
Well, a good running back and a great tight end.
So I am just willing to say I'm excited to see what
Yeah.
the young guys can do. I ain't
it's
going
definitely
to top half of the
improved. There's
league.
no doubt the Browns have improved their talent
Yes.
at offensive line and wide receiver. The worst case scenario, of course, is that whoever the quarterback is, we'll say it's Shador. He plays okay. That's kind of if Shador plays, it's really you really want him to either be fantastic or be horrible,
Yeah.
because you want to just be able to make a clear decision one way or the other. And if the decision's clear, you want it to either be okay, we can move forward with Shador, or he stinks, we're bad, we got to draft a quarterback.
That's why I think 2026 was important to him, because they don't want a mixed bag. They want
the only way Shador Sanders is at the quarterback in 27 is if he's very good to great in 26. If he's okay and we have to squint to find stats that point in his direction, he's gone.
there's 2 things. It's also I do think that wins and losses play a role. Like there is. I've always said it. Like if the owner said 5 wasn't good enough,
Yeah.
that means you
Will
got
play a role in what? In the quarterback decision? I mean, the only reason it would play a role is because they might have, if they, let's say Shador is below average, not terrible, but below average, and the Browns win 8 games because the defense is great, they're running the ball well, he has a couple of moments. Well, they might not be in a, but if he's below average, he's not getting a long runway in terms of years.
To your point, he has
Yeah.
to play better than he did in week 17 and 18, where they won both those games.
Right. They
to
won those
solidify
games.
his
He didn't
spot
do
moving
much.
forward.
If they win that way, he's not the quarterback.
Yeah, you'll know based on what you see. Like it, right now you can say, okay, it's the wins, the losses. No, I think that they did a really good job of saying, last year you couldn't tell. You were like, oh, listen, well they got a revolving door left tackle. They got the best receiver is Jerry Jeudy, and you can't count on him for nothing, right? Quinshon Judkins is not out there. Now, you have legitimately guys who've played in the league. You've upgraded your offensive line. You've now moved the floor up of your receiver room. Guys are making strides. Now it's up to him to make the strides and improvements. So now it's like, okay, well, now we got the receivers. Now we got the offensive line. Let's see what you're going to do.
I think you guys are way down the road. I told you.
Yeah, that's true.
I came back from the owners' meetings.
You think Deshaun Watson's going to start?
Yeah, I do. Wow. I do.
I think
I didn't think that
Yeah.
until the owners' meetings. When I came home from the owners' meetings, I was like,
crazy.
oh, they're serious.
I say it's
mean
crazy,
this.
but again, if I'm Todd Monken, it's simple. I understand where you're coming from. What's the
you know
upside?
what? This is going to get freaking clipped.
Yeah. But let me say this. Let me just say this. This has nothing to do with anything you said. If I'm Todd Monken, I only care about playing the quarterback to give me the best chance to win.
Yeah.
That's all I'm worried about right now. I want to win football games. I'm a head coach. I don't care about anything else. And if he believes Deshaun Watson gives him the best chance to win, doesn't matter what the rest of us believe. If he believes that, he's going to play him.
Yeah. I know how this is going to go. Yeah. I will say I think there's an excellent chance that Deshaun is the starting quarterback week 1. Excellent chance. I don't want to say
I'm saying wow, but I'm not surprised by that because
I think there's, and again, I didn't think that. Go back and pull the tape. I did not think that until the owners' meetings, and I came home from the owners' meetings going, no, they're serious about this.
I told you, from people from Deshaun Watson's camp, Shedeur Sanders' camp, even the Browns, I've heard 3 different people say there's one thing that's guaranteed. Todd Monken will make the final decision who's the quarterback, and they are serious about it being a competition. So there's no handicaps or nothing. No one's putting their thumb on the scale.
Yeah.
The person that comes, and the thing that I like most about it is if Shedeur Sanders does win the competition and he beats out a Deshaun Watson that was good, then
he earned it.
Then he earned it, and then he can go into the season and say, guys, Shedeur Sanders is starting quarterback for the season. We're going to see what he can do.
That's right.
And then at that point, we can watch the game and say, all right, let's see what we doing.
But let me ask you this. I remember, it was, I don't know, a month ago maybe, we got into a heated debate. It was G, Tyvis, and myself. And you guys were both like saying that Shedeur Sanders was definitely the presumed starter.
I still think he'll be the starter.
I said I think it's up in the air between the two. Are you closer to my end now? You think it's more up in the air than you did a month ago?
Here's what I'll say. I think it's more probable that Deshaun Watson could do some things because of what I saw him on the field do. Right? I didn't think that Deshaun Watson would come out and be as mobile as he was. I looked at it at the OTAs, and he didn't seem to have any hitch. He seemed to be moving well. He seemed to be able to throw the football. So for me, I said, okay, well, I'm going to take injury off the board because, I don't know what he physically looks like. When I saw him based on the little small sample size, I said, okay, he looks like he's back rehabilitated to the point where he has his skill set. However, that goes out the window when you got to figure out, can you play when all the live bullets is flying? So what I want to see is I want to get an opportunity to go to practice and see how they look against the defense, how they look doing those things. But for me, I still think, in my opinion, I think Shedeur Sanders has the edge in being the day one quarterback.
I agree. I think he should have the edge, but I don't know that he does. But I agree that he should. I do agree on the live bullets thing, although I don't know. They may make this decision before they even play a preseason game.
Oh, I think they will.
Because Todd Monken wants to have a start. He don't want to do this where you're picking the starter the third week of the preseason. I don't know. I mean, maybe he won't have a choice. But
I do get the feeling that they may make a decision quicker rather than later.
What's your take on that, Jason? I'm curious what you think. You think the decision can be made before the first preseason game? Even if it's not public, but behind the scenes, it's made.
Maybe, yeah. I don't want to say definitively, but I could see a world where he knows sooner than later who he wants to be the starting quarterback. Yeah, I could see that.
Because then, like he talks in his press conference, he said, you got to get somebody ready to play.
Right.
At that point, because I'll say this: the worst thing you could do is say last year, you went into the season and people don't remember, Kenny Pickett was getting the first team reps until he pulled his hamstring.
Right, it was early.
It was very early, and then when he went out, it was kind of like, okay, was Dylan or was it Flacco?
Yeah.
And they really didn't they really didn't stamp it until like maybe a week or so before like they started playing. Like if you got young guys, if it is Shedeur Sanders, you now have to get them ready to play real meaningful games and to understand and get ready. So I do think that you will see him make a decision faster rather than waiting late in the process.
The Browns will, if Deshaun Watson starts, the Browns' backup quarterbacks will be a combined age of about 40. The Bengals' second and third quarterbacks will be a combined age of 80.
That's crazy.
Or close to it. Because they got Joe Flacco and Josh Johnson as their second and third quarterbacks.
I can't believe Josh Johnson's still in the NFL.
Man, he must be.
Well, apparently he's the most lovable guy in the league. Teams are always picking him up.
How many teams has he played for?
This is his second time with the Bengals. I think he's played for 13 teams, 14 teams.
I mean, he got the Teddy Bridgewater.
He's loved everywhere he goes.
You have to be a great dude to stick around that long.
He's a perfect third quarterback.
Who is the other dude that used to play for the Vikings? He was another black quarterback that they always was like, he just always seemed to get the deal. Like it was like, what is his name? McNuggets, you got to help me out. Bad job. I think his number was like 7. He was just always like, they're like, yeah, we'll sign him to a backup deal.
Was he a young guy?
No, he's
like he was around a long time.
He was around a very long time. A very long time.
Say it again?
Backup quarterback.
Black quarterback who was on the Vikings. He was a backup for a long. I thought it was the guy who was here for 2 seconds that you knew or something, but he was a younger guy.
Kellen Mond?
No,
yeah, Mond.
No, I'm gonna think. I'll look at it in break. I'll tell you.
All right, we'll take a break. Speaking of which, we have not talked about the Cavaliers yet today, guys. They have Game 5 tomorrow. Everything on the line. I know the season isn't over if they lose, but I think it's going to feel like it if they do. They played
Tavares Jackson?
That's it. Tavares Jackson. We got to go. Yeah. He was on a lot of
pull from a long
time. Yeah, it is.
We're talking Cavs and Raptors next on the Ultimate Cleveland Sports Show.